So I don't know how many of you guys have seen this, but it's definitely one of the weirder reports that has ever come out in the AFL. Like, legitimately just came out of nowhere. I don't know what to believe, but to be honest, I mean, it's being reported by one of the biggest footy reporters in the freaking game right now, in Tom Morris. So we'll start off with it, right? It says that Sam Flanders, yes, Sam Flanders, is a big watch for the back half of the season. He's emerged as a trade target for Victorian clubs who believe they could turn his head with more midfield time and big cash. Contracted until 2027, the Suns' position is he's not up for trade, but this won't stop rival clubs exploring a play for him. So, I mean, yeah, I don't think Gold Coast are going to want to trade him, but that's not to say that a Victorian club won't potentially come out of nowhere and offer him a massive deal that he probably cannot refuse. And I mean, I think it's very obvious who that team is that would offer him a pretty big deal, because goddamn would he fit the team, and that does happen to be the Richmond Football Club. I mean, it's very obvious that Richmond have a plan to, I think, most likely trade for at least someone. They want to bring someone into the team, and Sam Flanders would actually be a really good option. Again, as we know, there's this page called Tiger Faithful, Tiger Ambush. A lot of you guys like the page. Some of you guys disagree with the page. At the end of the day, they make pretty good reports, and they've got some good insight and some interesting opinions, I should say. But they actually made a post about Sam Flanders saying a future first for Flanders, ? Again, it says a bit of talk on this in the last few hours, but I'd be all in for getting Sam Flanders to Tigerland. What are the facts? He's a 23-year-old Victorian native and a damn good midfielder. Last year playing midfield, he averaged 31 disposals and kicked 11 goals, more than Prestia at the same age. This year, he can't get a crack in the midfield. Rao, Anderson and Miller dominating the centre bounce attendances. Flanders has been pushed to half forward, and guess what? Gold Coast have 2 top 10 midfield academy prospects coming in the draft this year, which is also why the Suns are trying to trade pick 4. This is why offering a future first gets this deal done. They won't want a 2025 first that will get swallowed up in a bid. They'll bank on us being bottom team next year and will bank on rising up the ladder. Why would a contracted Flanders consider requesting a trade? 1, for a lovely pay rise. Yeah, fair enough. 2, return to the home state. 3, guaranteed midfield time. Why would Gold Coast entertain a trade? Not a position of great need for them, with Star Academy midfielders coming in and a chance to put Flanders money elsewhere. If we flip the future first for Flanders, we add a star young midfielder and we don't have to pay till next year. We then take pick 2 and pick 3, target speed, to the draft while adding Lewis Callaway, who's in. So, I mean, yeah, it does technically make sense to try and trade for Sam Flanders if you're Richmond, but if you're Gold Coast, I mean, it makes no sense to trade Sam Flanders away, in my opinion. Like, yeah, look, Sam Flanders isn't playing in the midfield. They're also not playing him off the half back, because they are absolutely stacked off the half-back line, and they are absolutely stacked in the midfield. But the reality of all of this is that Sam Flanders is such a good player that even when he's not kicking goals, and even though he hasn't been that great this year because he's kind of struggling in this new high half forward position, the reality is that when he does get the ball, he actually usually does something with it, and he's an absolute, disposal machine. And I think that Gold Coast have a lot of problems in their forward line. Like, I still don't think they have consensus small forwards yet. I also think their high half forwards, sometimes lack a little bit too. And that's why they really put Flanders down there. Like, don't get me wrong, their key forwards are pretty good. Ben King is a really solid player, and the 2 young guys they usually put alongside him are pretty good. But other than Ben Ainsworth as a small forward, they've struggled to find the other one, with Jake Rogers playing some time in there. Nick Holman's been in there, like a high half forward role as well. They've had a bunch of other different players, but I think their goal is to eventually strengthen the forward line, and they probably see Sam Flanders as a good connecting piece in that forward line, to the point where I don't think they would trade him, you know, even if this was like actually happening, because I just think they clearly want him. They don't want him to leave. They don't need him to leave at all. And I think Sam Flanders probably wouldn't necessarily want to leave. I'm sure he's really happy at Gold Coast, but I think he would be also very happy with more midfield time. So it is really tough. It's like a weird situation, because Sam Flanders is probably happy at Gold Coast, and he probably, you know, loves his teammates and loves what he's been able to do there. But then there is the other side of it, where Richmond could possibly offer much more money than what Gold Coast are paying him right now, which I don't really know. It's never been revealed what he's getting paid, but I think he's probably on like 800k, and he'll be looking for a bigger deal. And the reality is that Richmond could offer that bigger deal, considering the salary cap will be going up by about 35 to 45% reportedly in 2031, which after this season will only be 5 years away. I wouldn't be surprised if Richmond went to the 23-year-old and said, look, we'll give you a 7-year deal, and we'll, of course, you know, put a lot of money into that. We'll pay you more than what you're getting at Gold Coast right now, but then we'll really back end it. So when the salary cap does go up, you'll be making a fair bit of cash as well. So I think the money could talk on Richmond's side of things. The other thing is, could the midfield opportunity also talk for Richmond as well? I mean, the reality of the situation is, yes, Richmond do need to add midfielders, but honestly, right now, I don't know if they're rushing. Like, Taranto and Hopper are doing their job. When Presti is in there, he's actually been an absolute beast so far early on this year. They're still expecting Smiley and McAuliffe to continue to come through as well, and they want Sam Lawler to eventually play more midfield time. You factor all those things in, and then you also look at the fact that if Richmond were to do this trade, they would still have picks 2 and 3, where they would probably look at guys like Willem Dersma, who's another midfielder. They would look at guys like Sam Grill, who I think would very much add that burst of speed into the stoppage that they, of course, desperately need. At the end of the day, right, Richmond are most likely at least drafting one midfielder in this draft class. And again, there'll be other guys they draft. I think it's Noah Hargrave Higgins. Is that how you say his name? From Dandenong, who's a high half forward. I think they'll very much look at him. But the reality is that even though Richmond's midfield is still one of the weaker ones in the game, I don't think they're desperately rushing to, you know, really bring someone in at the moment. I mean, they'll look at guys like Zach Butters, and, you know, they would love to have a Zach Butters in because he's a near top 5 player when he's on, and like a Harley Reid. Those, I think, are the two exceptions that they would absolutely love to bring in, because how often do you stumble across guys like that? But then when you think about it, like Sam Flanders, yeah, he'd be a great pickup for the Tigers, but you've still got Prestia for 1 year, and you, at least I think they're going to re-sign him. And as I said, I don't know. It's really tough, because I think the only two players they would absolutely go all in for would be Zach Butters and maybe Harley Reid, of course. I don't know about Flanders, but yeah, it is really interesting. You could also, some people said we could look at him as a half-back, but then you're also drafting Lewis Callaway, who's projected, I think, top 30 at the moment, who you would hope could be a future half-back for the team. Again, do you want to rush into getting Sam Flanders? I'm not saying that Sam Flanders wouldn't be a bad pickup. Like, I think he'd be a great pickup. But, I mean, I've mentioned all those midfielders earlier, and you probably will be adding like a Sam Grill to that as well. I don't know. You know, I think Richmond, if they were going to rush into it, they would probably go for like a Harley Reid or a Zach Butters. But Flanders, he could be the other option. I mean, maybe if they don't think Prestia will go on next year, maybe they would think that he'll be the Prestia replacement. Like, that could be another option as well. So, yeah, it will be really interesting. I'm super curious to see if this plays out. I don't think he will leave the Gold Coast Suns, if I'm being perfectly honest. I think he will stay with Gold Coast, especially till his contract is up. I mean, they want to make the 8 and they want to push for a flag in the next couple years. So they're not going to want to be moving anyone at all. I think they'll keep him for another year and evaluate it till then, because again, if they've got him for another year and they would be only trading him for a future first, why would they trade him this year when they could probably just trade him next year for that Richmond pick anyway and get a whole nother year out of Sam Flanders to just see if they can improve him even more as a high half forward? And like, touch wood, this doesn't happen, but what if a midfielder does go down for Gold Coast and they need to put Flanders back in there? I mean, I just don't know. I don't know if I can see this happening, but we'll definitely have to wait and see. I mean, there are people who are very much optimistic. But again, I'd very much like to hear all of your thoughts and opinions on this in the comment section down below. Do you guys think the Richmond Football Club should go after a guy like Sam Flanders, or do you guys think they shouldn't? Again, I'd very much like to know. Subscribe to my gaming/movie channel, which will be getting linked down below. This channel for all latest AFL and sports content as well. And yeah, I guess I'll be seeing you guys next time. Goodbye.